All right, it's been just a few weeks ever since Onyango Olo, the former TNA secretary, decided to jump ship and move from TNA to CORD.
Yeah, and it's been a bad habit. Everyone is just crossing from one side to the other. Kila mtu anajitafutia.
It's party hopping at Celides 2017. We're gearing up to elections until August 8th, 2017. But first, Youth Cafe managed to get exclusive content of what happened to be a Jubilee WhatsApp group of how that would have gone down, right? Yeah. And mind you, this is a mock, all right? But we thought it would be an amazing way to start off the show. All right, as earlier mentioned, we say that this is the very first episode of Youth Cafe. Now, Youth Cafe is your platform. This is where you come and we discuss matters that are close to our hearts. While today being the very first episode, we know that this is the most important topic, given that it's a very special year in Kenya, and that's election. Now, get this. According to Aga Khan University, a survey that was launched last year around January 2016, 80% of Kenya's population are below the ages of 35. That's us, the youth, all right? So before we jump into today's news, giving you a brief of what's happening across Kenya and the world, we want to engage with you rather. So make sure you tweet us. The conversation today is, as the youth, have you gone out to register? And do you plan to take part in the August 8th, 2017 elections? Yes or no, why? We would love to hear from you. But first, let us give you some of the top stories that are making headlines, and we thought that this would be some pretty cool stories to begin off here on Youth Cafe. Of course, the main features in the first edition of the Nairobi Film Festival week was a drama about a mystery that surrounds death. That's right. Now, Katikati, a Swahili word meaning middle, tells the story of a young woman called Kaleche who dies and joins the next life where others gone before her are trapped. A study commissioned by the Kenyan Film Commission said it was worth $2 billion in 2016, up from $600 million in 2007. But still, the creative players in the industry say there is still a little support from the government to grow the local content and not enough to project to offer regular professional work. Now, Katikati was written and directed by first-time filmmaker Mbidi Masaya, who said that the story was deeply personal for him, and his co-writer Mugambi Ngithia. My colleague Brian Aseli met with them for an exclusive interview that will air when we get to the Art Corner segment within the program. You won't want to miss that.
What's your problem? You just had to drag her into this.
How did you die?
Nini? It would be much easier if you don't question everything.
I don't know anything about your life.
A lot of festivals are quite oriented at the industry, and there are great opportunities for filmmakers and producers to meet and connect with each other, which is important and essential. But our festival is really very much about creating experiences for the audience, and it informs our film selections as well, things that we think people will enjoy and that they will connect with. Because we really think that the growth of the film sector is going to come from a healthy uptake of Kenyan content.
I think it has set the bar very high. I feel like it's a game-changing kind of film in the sense that, like, just with storytelling alone and visually and in terms of writing, it's been really strong. So I am expecting a lot from the next couple of days, and I'm looking forward to the other films that were selected and curated for the festival. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, so you remember the Italian chef Salt Bay that literally trended across the internet? Well, get this, we have an update for you. When he's not dealing with blockbusters and trying to save the environment, Leonardo DiCaprio loves nothing more than a day off, just like you and I. But when two celebrities meet, the combined magnetism can be overwhelming, such as the case when it emerged that the meme sensation Salt Bay, a Turkish chef, met Leonardo DiCaprio. It's obvious Leo is taking a minute to process the salt-sprinkling flourish, which has become the Salt Bay signature move. Back here in Kenya, the likes of Seth Gore are being creative in their own ways. Take a look at that. He's there with his, what is that, a guitar? There you go. And an avocado. Kenya's very own Salt Bay. All right, now speaking of salt, let's take you to South Africa, where speaking of salt, Percy is a self-taught artist from Pretoria who discovered his passion for drawing when he was in 3rd grade. But it was not until some salt spilled on the floor of a shop where he worked that he discovered he had a unique ability to turn an everyday item into a realistic work of art. Here is that amazing work.
Percy Maimela is a seasoned artist. Using table salt as his main medium, he can conjure up detailed images. The 31-year-old says he has loved art since he was a child and knew he had a level of talent above his peers, but never thought it would lead to anything. He couldn't afford professional training, so when he was through with high school, he went into retail for 6 years.
You can just take small stones and make something that now no one ever thought of. You can take salt, you can take maize meal and make something like, normally you know salt is for food and stuff, but then here's salt.
Today, Maimela is practicing on his dining room floor. His latest inspiration, Barack Obama. Maimela says he does not need much to get started on a commissioned piece of work. With just an investment of less than 15 US cents for salt and a little extra for something sticky, he can sell a piece for about $30 US.
Sometimes I'll just carry just a black cloth and a bag of salt. Then you can just come and give me 300 and then I'll just sketch your face quick. You see? And for you, it's a memory. And you'll never get that like anywhere else. You can go anywhere, you'll never get that again.
Although his art is cheap to make, he admits it is not as financially rewarding as he would like, but believes that he made the right choice when he quit his job in retail to pursue his passion.
Wow, that's fantastic, quite inspiring. And President Barack Obama there, former US president. And speaking of which, Uber CEO Travis Kalanick has stepped down from Donald Trump's Economic Advisory Council following intense criticism and online boycott of the company over its ties to the new administration. The board, which also counts Tesla's chief executive Elon Musk as a member, it is due to meet President Trump on Friday. Uber is one of the several technology firms concerned over the impact of the immigration ban on its workforce. The company said it had set aside $3 million in legal fund to help those affected. They seem to include Uber's owner drivers. Uber has come in from heavy criticism since President Trump's election over the last weekend, as protesters gathered at several US airports. Uber appeared to defy a tax strike by removing the surging prices. That's when the mechanism by which prices go down on the service when demand is high. Now, the social media campaign Delete Uber quickly went to viral. All right, now let's take you to Britain where wear heels, you must wear shoes with heels and 2 to 4 inches, that's it. And of course, once in a while, touch up your makeup. How about that? But wait, you must also wear makeup and frequently reapply it. And you must wear tights, but not opaque ones, those were some of the rules in a dress code, a new dress code imposed by the British Recruitment Agency on its female workers before one of them, Nicola Thorpe, refused to wear high heels one morning and was sent home without pay.
You have to wear high heels. That's what
I probably would wear high heels anyway. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, now for something a bit cool, I think this is my favorite thing out of this entire news bulletin. Now, I want you to meet the coolest teacher, all right, all the way in America, who decides to high five and dance with his students as they walk into class. Take a look at this video, which is about to come up right now on your screens, which I think is the coolest thing, that this teacher has gone viral, Mr. White Jr., all the way in America. And all he does is he decides to greet his students with a high five and cool dance moves.
Thank you very much. You ready, Chef? I'm ready. You ready? All right. Yeah.
All right, before we take a quick commercial break here on Youth Cafe, let me let you know who our panel is. And that's, I will start all the way from my immediate left, and other than Giuliani. And next to Giuliani is Okore and John Bryan. Now, that's just part of the panel that we will be discussing youth and voting. Have you gotten your registration? 14th February is not too far away. All right, when we come back, we'll be discussing. Make sure you tweet us at KTN News, at Zinzi_K. Stay with us here on Youth Cafe.
This is KTN News.
Kwa hiyo sisi ni jamii tumeathirika tangu ilianza hii fujo. Tunaomba serikali yetu ya Jubilee na serikali ndogo ya county waangalie hii jamii ya Waboni wameathirika kiasi gani. Unajua vita ikiingia mahali inaathiri kila kitu. Mashamba yetu tulitupa, sasa hivi tuko kama hapa maeneo ya Kiunga. Hatuna shamba hapa, ni mahali tumekuja tumekodisha manyumba, tunakaa ili watoto wetu wapate elimu.
This is KTN News.
All right, welcome back. Let me just read a few of those tweets because you guys are already tweeting. This one is from Abdi, and you say, yes to remove Jubilee from power. Systems have collapsed under Jubilee. There's one here by Pioneer who says, I want to see change in my country and in leadership, but it all depends on my voting. So on 8th, I must vote. There's one also that says, yep, I plan to vote because change starts with my vote. That's the question that we're asking you today. This being the very first episode of Youth Cafe, we understand that it's important to go out, register, and vote come August 8th election, all right? And we're about to have that conversation with my panelist, as I earlier mentioned. Guys, welcome to Youth Cafe. I mean, first of all, you guys are the first panel to be on Youth Cafe.
We are on.
I think you all should just go and add that on your CV. All right, first of all, so let's kick this off, and I'll ask the obvious question. Brian, have you registered to vote?
In fact, I'm going to answer that very, very well.
Okay.
This will be my first election to vote. So I'm really excited. And, well, you know, I think change is inevitable. So,
okay.
With that decision to vote, I'm more than enthusiastic that other people in this country, especially the youth, will come out and vote.
Okore, do you feel the same way? And have you registered?
I have. I think everybody should, despite everything else. I think take your voter's card and then we can discuss choices, reasons why. You know, we can explain that later, but just please take that voter's card.
I like that.
So I have, yeah.
Okay, Giuliani?
Yeah, nimeipanguza vumbi. Ilikuwa imekaa hapo for 5 years.
So you're ready to go out and vote?
Of course, I'm ready to go.
But I'll be honest with you, right? Some of the conversations that I've been having with the youth, online and offline, some of them are saying, Zinzi, to be honest, I will not vote come this election. There's only one reason. Look at the choices that we have. So why in the first place should I go out and take my registration card, all right? Brian, you're already the president, the student president.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to that mentality of why should I?
I think that's one of the main reasons why I was so happy to be here today.
Okay.
If you do not want to vote, do not complain. When it comes to August 9th and you've not made the decision to vote in your leaders, you don't have the right to complain. And the problem I have with the youth is they think that it's all about the presidency. It's about the governor.
Corey is there like, yes.
It's about the senator. It's about the MCA. All these people matter in society. And every single time when we have an election, we have to ask ourselves, does it bring us closer to what we want? Because I think either way, all these leaders come up from society. And whatever we stand for, the values we have, and all this, or everything that we decide to do in society, brings out the leaders we have.
I mean, Okore,
we cannot think of having the change that we want. We have to act it. And the only way we do that is by voting.
All right. I mean, Okore, you were there and you were like, yes, when he mentioned that it's not just about the elections, all right? I mean, it's not about the presidency seat. It's more than that. So you are passionate about that point.
I am, because I feel like we can infiltrate and get our voices and get to act on levels that are not just the presidency. Because I think right now the conversation is around who needs to be president. It's either candidate A or candidate B.
True.
Then we forget there's a women rep, there is an MCA, there's a governor, there's a senator, there's an MP. You know, if assuming, for example, we cannot change up in the pyramid, why can't we infiltrate as we go higher? You know, and create, you know, and create an environment where good people can actually come up and fill these spaces. Because my question would be actually to the young people, would we rather have a good president surrounded by bad people or a bad president surrounded by good people?
Okay.
Where do you want to be?
I like that. Giuliani, talk to me.
I think we don't want to listen to the young people. We just want to lecture them on why they should go and get a voter's card. But we don't want to listen what's the reason, why is it that hataki kwenda kuvote? Why is it that they find issues with even going to, is it issue ya options peke yake? Is it issue ya aspiration? Is it issues some of what their needs they're not known? So, or maybe, and if they go to take a voter's card, are they using it as a way of investment so that I get to do it at the end of the day? So as much as we want young people to go and get votes, we need to understand, listen to them first.
Okay, so you think that we're not listening to them enough?
No, we're not listening.
Brian here was already saying no.
I don't think that the youth are supposed to be listened to. They're supposed, most of the time, they should be the ones to air their views.
Okay.
And I love this, and that's why I say that this is an opportunity to be able to discuss about the issues that matter. The problem we have is a generation, and you look back 10 years ago.
All right,
when we had
Brian,
working
let me cut you short. There's a problem with your mic, but hold that thought for just one moment. Let's take a quick break here on Youth Cafe to just sort out the technical issues. When we come back, do not go anywhere. This conversation has just begun.